Title: Cop pulls over, suspicious, black woman, goes silent when she opens her jacket and reveals Colonel Insignia. The flashing blue lights reflected off the wet highway as Sergeant Miller swaggered up to the black SUV. Inside sat a calm woman in uniform slacks, her hands resting on the wheel. "License and registration," he barked. "You were speeding and acting suspicious." She looked up, her tone even. "Suspicious? I was driving home from base." He scoffed. "Base? Right. Step out of the vehicle." The woman sighed quietly, unbuckling her seatbelt. As she stepped out, Miller's partner whispered, "She's got a military tag on her plate, man." But Miller waved him off. "Fake tags. Happens all the time." The woman turned toward him, slowly unzipping her jacket. A glint of silver and gold caught the headlights, the eagle insignia of a full U.S. Army colonel. Miller's voice cracked. "Ma'am, She cut him off sharply, her voice now commanding. "Sergeant, you just detained a senior officer without cause. Call your chief. Now." Within minutes, 3 patrol cars arrived, followed by the police captain, red-faced and sweating. He saluted stiffly. "Colonel Davis, I apologize. My men acted without authorization." Colonel Davis looked at Miller, whose arrogance had vanished completely. "Greater than, next time," she said coldly. "Respect doesn't need to be earned, it needs to be given." She drove off into the night, leaving behind 2 trembling officers who'd just learned what real authority looks like. Title: Officer stops, suspicious, black woman, then freezes when her jacket reveals a U.S. Air Force colonel badge. Rain tapped against the hood of the cruiser as Officer Reynolds approached the black sedan he'd just pulled over. Inside sat a composed woman in her 40s, eyes steady, hands on the wheel. "Ma'am," he said curtly, "you were swerving. Step out of the vehicle." She frowned slightly. "I wasn't swerving, officer. I was avoiding a pothole." He narrowed his eyes. "Let's see some ID. And don't make any sudden moves." The woman's calm didn't break. "Sure," she said softly, reaching into her coat, then pausing. "You sure you want to do this?" "Ma'am, don't test me," he barked. She sighed, unbuttoned her jacket, and turned toward him. The streetlight hit the polished metal badge pinned to her chest, a U.S. Air Force Colonel insignia, glinting like fire. Reynolds' voice cracked. "See Colonel. Colonel Naomi Grant," she said firmly. "And you just profiled a decorated officer with 3 deployments. Would you like me to call your chief or your captain first?" The silence was deafening. His radio crackled, but he couldn't move. Naomi stepped closer, her tone low but sharp. "Greater than, you wanted to see ID, officer. Here it is, and it outranks every badge you own." She handed him her military credentials and walked back to her car. By the time he returned to his cruiser, his hands were trembling, and the realization hit him hard. He'd just tried to pull rank on someone who wrote the rules he swore to follow. Title: Cop pulls over, suspicious, black woman, then realizes too late she commands his entire base. The night was quiet when Officer Daniels flicked on his siren behind a sleek black SUV. Inside, a woman in uniform calmly pulled over. He approached, hand on his holster. "Evening, ma'am. You fit the description of a suspicious vehicle." The woman raised an eyebrow. "Suspicious? Because I'm driving a government car." "Step out, please," he said flatly. She sighed, stepped into the light, and opened her jacket, revealing a U.S. Army colonel's insignia shining against her chest. The air changed instantly. Daniels froze. "Wait, Colonel." Her gaze hardened. "That's Colonel Riley, commander of Fort Dawson, the same base you're assigned to patrol near." He went pale. I didn't save it," she cut in. "You pulled me over for fitting a description." "Tell me, officer, what description was that?" he stammered. The dashcam blinked red, recording every second. Moments later, her phone rang. "Yes, Captain. Send Internal Affairs to Highway 19. One of your men needs retraining." Daniel's shoulders dropped.